Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome back to Fat Cat Collections. And today I'm excited to share with you guys another watch review. Now, this is the second watch that this company has sent me, and I think you guys are really gonna like it. And this is a watch by the company called Rockwell. And I know Rockwell, right? This is a company that kind of, their whole theme is about kind of more of extreme sports. They make several different products. They make watches for men and women, socks, sunglasses, hats, and t-shirts. I think they have some supplements as well. And their whole thing is, I guess, they're marketed more towards a guy who's a BMX guy, you know, the water sports guy, the wakeboarder, the motocross rider, the MMA fighter, just guys who have bigger, bolder personalities and kind of go for it. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what those sports are all about. They're tough, they're rough, and that's kind of who they market towards. And I can see that on their website. Like, as soon as I went there, you can kind of get that theme. And so I gotta tell you, when I reached out to them a couple weeks ago, or about a week ago, I wasn't really sure what to expect, but after they sent me the watches, I gotta tell you, I'm surprised I haven't heard of this company before. I don't really know how new it is. I just kind of stumbled onto it. And what's sad about Google is that there are so many companies out there that you really have to dig and hunt. And sometimes just type in men's watch, you'll never find these sites. You know, I'm not sure how they, you know, a lot of times when you go to a site like this, there's not a lot of content on it, and that's harder to for the search engines to kind of determine what it's all about. Yeah, if you search Rockwell and you've heard of the name, you can find it, but you go typing in, you know, big men's watch, it may take you 20 pages on Google to find it. And, you know, there's nothing really on here that talks about big watches. So it's unfortunate that that's the way the search engine works, and I don't know how I stumbled onto it. You know, I spent a lot of time trying to find new companies and try to market and branch off to, and I'm just thankful that I found them, reached out to them, and they instantly, Kate over at Rockwell, was nice enough to say, yep, we'd love to be featured on the channel, we'll send you a couple samples. So the one they sent me that I just reviewed, the Dual Time, that's what I'm wearing on my wrist right now, and check out my video on this watch. Fantastic, killer watch, guys. And the other one they sent me here is the one called the Maverick. And what I like about the company, first off, quick response. And I can't tell you the number of companies I email that, you know, and I'm not just talking about big companies, like those big mainstream companies. I am talking about even micro brand companies that really, you know, probably aren't getting a lot of emails per day. Sometimes it'll take a week to get back to me. Rockwell, they got back to me like the same day, and they made a decision, bam, yes, we want to be featured, watches are in the mail, and they got them out quick. And I love it when I deal with companies like that, because there's no hemming and hawing. They see the value in what I'm doing, and they go for it. And that's what Rockwell's all about, just going for it. And so, again, they sent me the Dual Time, and this bad boy right here called the Maverick. Alright, so before I talk about this watch and show you what it looks like on the wrist, something I always pride myself on this channel for doing, let's show you the presentation, and I'll talk a little about the watch, and then we'll show you some close-ups, okay? So here's the box. Very impressed with the presentation. And if you guys have been watching me for a while, when I get these things, I open up the box and like gone. Like I throw it in the side of the room. Not really, but I'm never really too interested in the box. I've seen so many, and you know, I don't display my watches in boxes. They're in custom display cases, and 90% of the time they're locked up in a safe, to, you know, as you know, to protect myself, right? But with this, I had to actually stop and look at the box. Very, very nice presentation. As soon as I opened up, I was like, wow, that's a lot nicer than a lot of the boxes I've seen by companies that you know, charge a lot more for their watches. Beautiful design. I like the fact that this very simple, you know, it's always going to be a square box for the most part, right? What I like is that they've done a kind of this black faux leather. You have your stitching around the box, your Rockwell logo on the top, and Rockwell on the front. But they took it a step further. Instead of just making a standard square box like they could have, or a rectangular box, they put this drop down in the front. And so it opens up like that. And here's the pillow here, right in the center. And they've angled the inside of the box towards the front, towards this, what I would consider like an exhibition window. So when you open it up, you're not getting this view, you're getting the full view of the watch. It's really showing off the watch on a pedestal, and that's basically what it is. So, great job, Rockwell, on taking the time to make a well thought out, nice box. Because let's face it, if you're a guy who's like, hey, you know, I don't have a lot of money, I don't have a lot of watches, and maybe you only want to have a couple watches in your collection, and maybe you do want to display it in the box. This is a nice way to display your watch if you're going to display it in the manufacturer's box, okay? All right, so let's move on to the watch. Show you it again here, okay? Let's give you a couple close-ups here. The one they sent me here is done in the all-silver stainless steel. Real simple, real clean. All right, very simple and clean watch. That's the best way I could describe this. All right, moving on. Let's talk about it. All right, so the case is a 50mm case. So right there, kudos. I absolutely love anything 50mm and larger. For me to buy something under, it's really got to speak to me if I'm going to spend my own money on it. They were nice enough, of course, to send me samples for review, which again, their generosity. Thank you very much, Kate over there at Rockwell. I do appreciate you doing that, and I am really impressed. I gotta tell you, and you know, I'll review watches all the time. Yeah, when I get Invicta and Aragon, I'm always super happy because you know that's more my style. This is another company that if you like those two brands, you will love this company. Okay, so 50mm case right off the bat, 32mm with band width, which does taper down to 24. And I've said in my other video, what I like about Rockwell, what they do, at least on these two watches, is that not only do they give the watch a nice, big face, but they're giving you a big band. They really want you to notice the bracelet. And when you start comparing a watch, I just have to have a Talkmeister here. This is a 22mm lug-to-lug band, or it goes all the way down to the buckle, of course. But you can look at the difference in size. And most watches that I have, even by Invicta, they generally tend to keep their band in the 22mm with range. It doesn't mean I don't like that. It just means that you really have to have a lot in the face if you want to have something big and very aggressive and noticeable. And I love the fact that Rockwell puts a big, thick band. Now, it does taper down to 24 on the wrist, whereas opposed to the dual time, you have a full 32 all the way around. This is a dope watch. But it's awesome that it's nice and thick at the top. It tapers down. It maintains most of its width all the way down until it gets kind of around the side of your wrist. So nice, big, thick band. Awesome if you're a guy who likes, big over-the-top watches that get attention, that get noticed. I love the fact that they're doing that on their brand. And I said in my other video, I think it's a really great way they should design their watches, because you're really getting a watch that even this one here, it's 46mm, but you don't think it is because the band is so big. And most watch companies do not make big, thick bands like that. There are not many. All right, so a little bit about the watch. 304 stainless steel on this one here. It is not the 316L. So on this particular one, the one I reviewed before, the dual time, is actually using 316L surgical grade. Let me just double check that. Yeah, 316L stainless steel, which is pretty much used on most watches out there. On this particular one, I think just for the price point, they made it in what I wouldn't say lower grade, but a more affordable grade. Again, that's 30. And just while I got you on here, we're just going to go ahead and real quick, because I just want to go ahead and just tell you the difference between 304 stainless steel, 316. So right off the internet here, the difference between 304 and 316, the simple answer is 304 contains 18% chromium and nickel, while 316 contains 16% chromium and 10% nickel and a 2% molybdenum, which is an additive that helps resist corrosion to chlorides like seawater and de-icing. So again, still a good grade stainless steel. It's just probably not as corrosive resistant as a 316. That doesn't mean you can't take it in the ocean. That doesn't mean it's not going to be resistant. It just means it's not quite as resistant to corrosion as your 316. Just like when you compare 316 to Rolex's, I think it's a 904, I believe. Even more corrosion resistant due to the higher nickel content. And again, the difference between 316 and the Rolex's stainless steel is that if you threw it in the ocean and left it there for a couple years or however long, it would be more resistant. But for normal human being purposes, it's irrelevant. It really is, because nobody's going to do that to their watch. And for our purposes today, the resistance between these two is really irrelevant. You're not going to have any issues with this watch. Okay. What else is this one here? As far as movement on this here, it is powered by a Swiss-made Ronda caliber 513 three-hand quartz movement, and you have 10 ATMs of water resistance on this one here. And of course, when they say Swiss movement, it does not mean Swiss made. It just means that the movement is made either with Swiss parts or is made, I believe on these ones here, it's Swiss parts movement. So they can say it's a Swiss movement, but it's not actually Swiss made. Which again, who cares? All right, so non-screw down crown on this here. But naturally, you just basically pop the crown, set the time. There is no date on the watch. You just have your second hand and your hour and minute hand. Your Rockwell logo, I don't know if you can see that on the face. This real clean, more of like a starburst pattern, stainless steel face. High polished chrome number markers, it looks like on the 1, the 6, the... whatever, you can see it. Polished hands, of course. On the bezel, I love what they've done on this here. They actually done a brushed stainless steel bezel, but on the edges you have that mirror polishing. All brushed stainless steel case. The band completely brushed stainless steel. Very little polishing on this other than what I just told you around the bezel and a little bit on the markers on the face. So all brushed, all sleek, very clean, very classy looking. And the side of the case right there. Of course, they have their Rockwell logo on the side of the crown, and you have your dual deployment fold-over clasp with your lock, which is something that I always like. You have the extra safety, and Rockwell logo, Rockwell name on the back of the lock on the clasp. This watch is available in 4 different executions: the silver, the black, the gold, and let's see what else we got here. Drawing a blank here. All gold, all black Phantom edition. The one I'm showing you now, in the same watch with a black face. Price point on them, $340, this particular one here, up to $440 for the black or the gold. Gold's nice looking too, I gotta tell you. Alright, so let's go ahead and throw it on the wrist. Again, I have a 7-inch wrist. I'm about 5'7", 7.5", and I weigh about 165, 170 pounds. So you get an idea what it's gonna look like on a guy my size, my height, and my weight. Again, anything in a 50 millimeter, that's beefy. And when you start throwing a 50 millimeter watch with a 32 millimeter lug band width at the top there, it just has a wrist presence. And what I like about this one here, it just takes a watch that what I would consider just a clean, classy design, just into something that's a lot beefier and chunkier. It really gives you that wrist presence. You're going to get noticed. I love, again, you can see in the light how that clean, just brushed stainless steel finish looks, and then you have that slight mirror polishing around that bezel on the edge and on the inside edge where the hardened mineral crystal is. It just really is a nice touch. Beautiful. I'm going to wear this one tomorrow and see what kind of compliments I get on this one here. I wore the dual time today. It was a hit. Awesome watch. And they do have a couple other watches in their lineup, which I reached out to. As soon as I got the watches, sometimes I come across a little greedy, but I can't help it. When I see something I like and I feel positive about a brand, I want to get more. I want to share more with you guys. I want to give the company the recognition it deserves, and I immediately emailed them and said, hey, what else can you send me? And one watch that, and I encourage you, I'll put a link in the description to where you can get this. I'm not sure if it's available on Amazon or eBay, but if it is, I'll put those links. I'll put a link to the manufacturer's website you can buy this from. 2-year warranty on these watches. And in their lineup, they make several different watches. The one I want to get my hands on, and I'm hoping I can, because if you guys like these, you're going to love this one. This one's called, they just call it the 50 millimeter. And this one here, again, another big watch, huge band on it. This one, I got to get my hands on this. They call it the 50 round. And it's just, again, just has a, just an awesome deep dish. I got to get my hands on this one. Man, just a tank. But anyway, they have several different watches in their lineup. I encourage you to check them out. Subscribe to the channel. Tell me what you guys think about this watch. If you guys like Invicta and Aragon, check this company out. I think you'll be really impressed with what they're offering. I am. I dig it. I think this is just an awesome addition to my collection. And because not only is it, it's new, it's completely different, and I don't have anything like it. All right, guys. Again, Rockwell, thank you very much for your generosity. Send me the big 5-0, And guys, subscribe, click like, click my links, check out this company. Tell me what you guys think. All right, guys, have a wonderful day. Take care.